Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Lim and I'm your trader of today. Okay, with 7 years of experience in teaching, baking, and decorating, I specialize in helping students master the technique with confidence. All right, let's take an attendance for today first. Kai Yuan?
Yes.
All right. Zhuang Zhen?
Yes. No.
All
Yes.
right. Okay, so there are few class rules for students. So first, you have to silence your phone during the class and always make sure to be on time and prepare your own stationaries and be eager and ready to learn. And last, students have to keep training room clean. Is that clear? All right. So have you guys already have your dinner already?
Yeah.
What's your dinner for tonight?
Noodle.
Noodles. So what about John Jen?
Also Maggie noodles.
Noodles. All right. So let's proceed for today. So the date for today will be the November 20, 2025. And the time will be 9 to 9:30. Okay. So well, before I start my topic today, I'm going to ask a questions. Have you ever tried decorating a cake by yourself?
No.
Yes or no? No. Okay, let's take a look on this cake A and cake B. All right, so try imagine your mom birthday is coming up and you plan to buy her a birthday cake. So which cake will you buy for your mom? Cake A or cake B?
Cake B.
Cake
So
B.
Jungjeon, cake B. Definitely you will choose cake B, right? Because it's full with beautiful decorating with chocolates. That's why today I will unlock the secret from transforming a simple cake to a beautiful cake by using a different frosting and decorating technique. So today I will sharing with you all about the fundamental of cake decorating with frosting. So there are 4 learning aims for today. First, we have to understand the key preparation step before decorating. And the second, we have to apply the basic frosting and crumb coating technique. And the third one, we have to perform the creative decorating technique like piping and texturing. And fourth, we have to learn how to properly finalize and store your decorated cake. All right, for the first one, preparation before cake decorating. So before you do the cake decorating, you have to prepare the tools. Okay, the tools we have, the first one, we have the spatula. And the second one, we have the piping bags and tips. It's for the spreading the frosting. And the third one, we have the cake turnable. And the fourth, we have the scraper. And fourth, we have the toothpick. Okay, fifth, we have the gel food colors. And the last one, we have the palette knife. Okay, so after all these essential tools has been prepared, and we need to prepare a baked cake and cool cake for cake decorating. So we have to cut the cake first. Have you seen the first one? Level the cake with a lever with a serrated knife. Okay, so first we have to cut the cake, and then normally we'll cut in 2 to 3 layers of the cake. And the next one, we have applying the syrup to a dry cake. So what is the syrup? Do you guys know what is the syrup? No. Okay, so
Syrup is
syrup actually, yes.
syrup
Yes,
is
Jonathan?
liquid candy. Like
Yes,
liquid
it's a
sugar.
mix of a sugar and water. You're right. It's a mix of sugar and water. So normally we use it to keep restoring and moisture the cake. Okay, so then we will place the syrup cake on the cake board and then layer by layer and wrap it up and chill it for 30 minutes before frosting. So by chilling up the cakes, it will be making easier to spread the frosting later. Okay, so the second one, we have the basic frosting crumb coating technique. So this is a very important technique in the cake decorating. So let me explain what is a frosting and a crumb coating first. Okay, so do you know what is a frosting? No. Okay, so frosting, we can call it as an icing. So basically, it's a sweet and a spreadable coating made from the ingredient like butter, sugar, cream cheese, chocolate, or flavoring. Okay, so whereby the crumb coat is a thin layer of the frosting applied to a cake before you do the final decorating layer. So in a short word, we use a frosting such as buttercream, cream cheese, chocolate to do the crumb coat before you start your cake decorating. Okay, so what is the step in applying the crumb coat? Because first we have to place a cheer cake on the turntable. Okay, the second one, and then we use a spatula to spread the thin layer on frosting or icing cream to cover the entire cake to trap the crumbs. Then we will send it to chill again for 15 to 20 minutes to make sure the cake surface is clean without the messy crumbs. So after the crumb coat, okay, now we come to the final layers. And we can call it as a smooth finish. Okay, so first one, we have to apply some amount of frosting onto the cake. And we use a scraper at 45 angle to spread the frosting cream while rotating the turntable. So after spread and cover entire cake with the frosting, then we use the heated or hot spatula to smooth the top of the cake. So once we smooth the cake, we will send it to chill again for 10 minutes before we do our final touch of decorating. Okay, so final frosting layer always not easy to handle. So make sure to keep practicing. So practice makes perfect. So don't stress if it's not perfect at the first times. Okay, so we proceed to the next. The third one, we have the creative decorating technique. Okay, so we come to the fun part we call decorating. So if a cake without decorating, it is just a simple and boring cake. Do you guys agree? So still remember the cake A and the cake B for your mom just now? Still remember? So cake A is very simple without any decorating, right? And the cake B is beautiful decorating with the chocolates. So a lot of you guys will choose the cake B, right? So that's why we always add on some design on color into the frosting cream to make sure the cake look attractive. So here we have few creative decorating techniques to turn your cake look attractive. Okay, so take a look for this one. First, we have the rustic texture. So it is an easy decorating technique. We apply a frosting cream unevenly, then we use a spatula to create the swirl, then leave some cake peeking through. And lastly, we can add some fresh flour on top of the cake. So here's the video to show how to do the rustic texture. Let's have a look on this video.
20 minutes in the refrigerator. Add buttercream to the top of the cake and smooth it down until it's level. Then add buttercream to the sides of the cake. We're going for a generous, even coating of buttercream all over this cake. Next, glide in icing smoother over the sides of the cake as you rotate the turntable. Fill in any gaps with more buttercream and keep smoothing until the sides are nice and level. The goal here is to just make sure that the sides are level, so don't worry about getting a flawlessly smooth buttercream finish at all. Once the sides are even and level, swipe an icing spatula through the buttercream to create rustic textures. If you don't have an icing spatula, you can do this with a butter knife or even the back of a spoon. To give it that perfectly imperfect look, try some quick swipes with your spatula as well as some C shapes and S shapes. Don't be afraid to go back over some areas with new texture wherever you see fit. Keep swiping through the buttercream until you're satisfied with this.
All right, this is the first one, and let's take a look for the second one. Ombre gradients, okay? So to create the ombre texture effects, we can separate frosting into 3 bowls first, okay? So add in 3 different gel color to create the effect of thin light, medium, and dark shades. So by using the piping bag, we can pipe the color frosting cream into the shape of concentric rings on the cake sides. At last, we use the scraper to bend vertically, and here's the beautiful yet artistic design of decorating. And same as well, I will show you the video on how to do the ombre gradient frosting technique. Let's take a look at the video.
Buttercream ombre color palette. Divide your buttercream into 3 separate bowls and mix up the darkest color first. When you love how it looks, mix 3 to 5 tablespoons of that dark color into another bowl to make a medium color. And then add 1 to 2 tablespoons of the medium color to the last bowl and mix it up to make the lightest color. Now you have 3 beautiful shades of the exact same color for a flawless monochromatic ombre. Here's the easiest way to make a buttercream ombre color palette.
All right. And the last one, we have the last technique, we have the drip effect, okay? So drip effect for the cake decorating. So before you do the cake drip effect decorating, we have to make sure the chocolate ganache first. We have to do the chocolate ganache first, okay? So it is very easy to do the chocolate ganache. Basically, we just heat the whipping cream until steaming, or we can microwave it for 30 seconds. And then pour over the chocolate, wait for 1 minute, and then stir it until smooth. Then let it cool slightly 5 to 10 minutes until the texture becomes thicker but still pourable. It's like a warm honey texture. Then we can start to do our dripping. Okay, so we can spoon in a ganache, gently touch on the cake edge and let gravity pull it down. Or we can use the method of piping back. Okay, just sniff a tiny hole in the bag and pipe drip along the cake edge. So we can start with shorter drips and then add longer drips for a natural look, or we can space drip 1 to 2 inches apart. And then pour remaining ganache in the center and spread smoothly with spatula. And let it flow slightly over the edge with the drips. And then again, we set it chill for 10 to 15 minutes to set. Okay, let's take a look on this chocolate dripping effect video as well.
For a good 20 minutes. In the bag, I have some dark chocolate ganache. I'll be sure to leave the recipe on how to make this in the description box as well. And I'm starting with a really big puddle right in the middle. As you make your way to the edge and you're about a centimeter away from the edge, give the turntable a little bit of a wriggle to help settle the chocolate. And then artificially drip, connecting that drip with the main puddle. Try to create some long and some short. The less amount of time you spend on that edge, piping, the shorter it'll be. The longer you spend piping out that chocolate, the longer the drip.
Okay, now we come to the last, the number 4, finalizing and storing the cakes. Okay, so this is the final touch-up. It's the last step that transforms a cake from good to professional way. So there are few ways to final edible decorations. We can decorating by add on some edible decor such as sprinkle, chocolate chips. Okay, so if you want your cake decorating looks yummy, you can decorate it by putting some fresh berries, okay, fresh flowers, okay, fresh chocolates. Okay, for certain occasion celebration, you can dusting your cake with the glittery effects to suit your events. Okay, so to ensure your cake decorating turn out perfectly every time, so there are few common frosting issue we have to pay attention and some solution to fix in cake decorating. Okay, so normally the issue we will face in the frosting, you will face the issue of the grumpy frosting. So what is a grumpy frosting? You know what's a grumpy frosting? Very soft, your cream very soft. Okay, so most of the time, the reason causing the lumpy frosting because they use the cold butter. Okay, because it's cold and hard, that's why it won't blend smoothly. Or sometimes you're using too much powdered sugar in frosting, it will dry out the frosting, so making it like a sandy. Or sometimes over mixing the frosting cream will break down the fat structure, so will create the granny feel also. Okay, so the second common issues will be the melting and the slipping. Okay, so this is a crumpy frosting. Can you see? It's like a sandy, not smooth at the surface. Okay, so the second will be the melting and the slipping frosting. You see, very soft the buttercream. Okay, so normally this issue is because when you place the cake in a warm conditions in long hours. Okay, so it forcing the frosting slice off. So in order to solve this issue, you can actually chill it for 15 minutes immediately. Okay? And the third issue, normally you will face will be the color fading. Have you seen the cake surface, the frosting? Normally the cake frosting will be the white color, right? So it becomes like yellowish, the fake color already. Okay, so this issue, because this issue sometimes because your frosting cream too much exposure to the sunlight. Okay, so that's why making it the color will look fade. So to solve the issue, you always will make sure you use the oil-based coloring instead of the water-based coloring, because the water-based dilute the frosting and the fade faster. Okay, so here we're going to store the cake frosting even properly. So proper storage will keep your frosting fresh, creamy, and ready to use. So here's on how to store different type of frosting. Okay, for the frosting in room temperature, have to look at the first one. Okay, for the frosting in room temperature, normally we can keep for 1 day or 24 hours only. Okay, for example, buttercream, you only can keep for room temperature like 1 day only. Okay, but if you want to store it up to 3 to 5 days, normally you have to chill and frosting cream in a sealed piping bag and store in the fridge. Okay, so in a freezer, normally we can store for long time, for 1 month. But you have to make sure you wrap tightly in a plastic bag. Okay? So there are few different type of frosting and different way of storage. So let's look for the first one, buttercream. Okay, so for the buttercream, normally for the room temperature, you can store it for 1 or 2 days only. Okay, for fridge, you can store for 1 week, and for freezer, you can store it for 1 month. And whereby for cream cheese and whipped cream, you cannot store room temperatures for 1 or 2 days. Okay, in only for fridge or freezer only, for fridge only 1 or 2 days. Okay, for the ganache and royal icing, you can storage in a room temperature 1 to 2 days. Okay, for fridge, ganache can treat for 1 month. And for royal icing, it only can store in fridge for 2 weeks. Okay, so for some tips for best result to prevent the crusting, you always press plastic wrap directly onto the frosting surface and revise separated frosting. You can re-whip with a mixer or add 1 teaspoon milk if too thick. And always make sure to label and date your frosting. Okay? All right. So now I'm going to distribute the information sheet to you all. All right. And I will give students 5 minutes to read and check. All right. Time's up. Okay, student, please party back to me. All right, student. Do you have a questions?
Yes, I have a
Any
question.
questions? Yeah.
So, why do we chill the cake before we apply the frosting?
Okay, you have to chill the cake before applying the frosting because the frosting, sometimes you have to firm up the frosting. Make the frosting firm up, then you only can you have to chill the cake. Otherwise, it's like very soft, the creams, it will melting.
I see.
All right, yeah. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
What tool do we use to level up the cake layers?
Okay, we always use the serrated knife to level up the cakes. The serrated knife is a knife with the small teeth. Okay, it's a best way to layer the cakes.
Okay.
All right. Any questions? If student don't have any question, I'm going to ask student a questions.
I have another question.
Yeah.
So, what should we do if the frosting starts melting?
Okay, so if the frosting start melting, you can immediately store in the fridge for 15 minutes.
Okay.
All right, yeah. Okay, any questions, student?
Yeah, I have one more question.
Yeah.
Should the cake be chilled before the frosting?
Yes, you must freeze your cake before frosting.
Around how minute?
Is 15 minutes to 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Is the best way. All right, any questions again? If don't have any questions, I'm going to ask the questions. All right, student, any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
So, how long can a buttercream cake be stored in the fridge?
How long can buttercream can store in the fridge for 3 to 5 days?
Oh, okay.
Okay. If you want to longer time, it can store in the freezer for 1 month. Okay. Any questions?
What tool do we use to level up the cake layers?
Okay, tools, you can use a serrated knife.
Okay.
Okay, serrated knife to level the cakes.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions?
How do we create an ombre effect on the cake?
Okay, so you can create the ombre effect by doing the thin frosting into the light, medium, and dark shades. Okay, pipe them around the cake and blend it vertically with a scraper. Okay, it is the easier way to do the ombre gradients texture effects.
I see. Thank you.
Yeah. Any questions?
How do we create a ombre effect on a cake?
Yeah, just now this one I answered the question already.
Oh,
The effects. So we using the piping bag, and then we do the three into using the thin, light, medium, and dark shade, and piping onto the creams. Okay? Any
Uh,
questions?
yeah. What is
Yes.
the purpose of doing a crumb coat?
Okay, so crumb coats normally we do to trap the loose crumb of frosting. So before we applying the final smooth layer, we have to do the crumb coats. So the crumbs won't come up when you do the frosting. Okay?
Mm.
So any questions? If don't have any questions, I'm going to the next.
yeah, no question.
Okay, now I'm going to ask the questions, okay? So student, how many tools do you think are essential when decorating a cake? How many?
7 key tools.
Yes, 7 key tools. So 7 key tools, we have spatula, piping bag, cake turnable, scraper, toothpicks, food color, and the last one, we had the palette knife. Okay? All right, so now I'm going to pass an assignment sheet for students, and there are 10 questions in the assignment sheet. And I will give students 5 minutes to answer the question as well. All right, time's up. I will collect back the assignment sheet. Okay? All right, let's proceed to the next. So we come to the summary. So today we have summary for these 4 summary. For the first one, we have to understand the preparation process before cake decorating. And the second one, we have to apply basic frosting and crumb coating technique. And the third one, we have to perform creative decorating technique. And the last one, we have to finalize and store the decorated cake properly. Okay, so next topic we have introduction to cake baking basics. And the date will be the December of 11, 2025. And the time will be the 10 a.m. So location will be the Shah Alam. Okay, so the next one, before I end my sections, I will share to you guys a quote, okay, about the cake decorating. So cake decorating is not just about the creating something beautiful. It's about turning the moment into the memories that last forever. All right, so thank you for today, student. I will end my section for today. Thank you, students.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Miss.